certain characters are like, you know, knocked unconscious or sent to the hospital or whatever, and you have the flashback to a fucking drought. And it's like if capitalism is the patient in that hospital, right? You drug capitalism.
Grind away the hours whilst I wait for hospital appointments and in times when people I want to volunteer with not trusting you to take me to the fucking hospital, because that is something that you will fucking use to manipulate me. Oh,
Fisher, who has very sadly just died, when she went into hospital with a heart attack, and pretty much everyone was like, no! Against superbugs in hospitals, right? Like, you've got to just allow almost places to
patients experiencing distress or exhibiting mental ill health issues when admitted to hospital should have both their physical health and mental.
So I suppose, to use the metaphor of capitalism as a patient in hospital again, it's like, at the moment,
elderly need care that is seamless between home and hospital. Two. That's fair. The Tories savage. I wouldn't be taken by him to Ashford Hospital. And he said that the only reason that he was sticking around
days, you know, in a hospital bed, you know, weekly clinging on, or do you want them to be able to, you know, go home?
Budget cuts have kept people in hospital who should be able to be cared for at home. That's a fair point, yes. Actually, I have to phone up St. Peter's Hospital and just say, like, what the fuck? What happened? Fundamentally, right, if you're in hospital, if you're in the NHS, you're dealing with people who are... Asked him to give me a lift to Ashford Hospital for my glucagon test. Something I had specifically told. Had a heart attack, so we should probably go to the hospital. Which, I mean, go back on topic to the start of, you know, we don't build schools, we don't build hospitals, we don't ensure that there is, you know, plumbing and sanitation and, you know, campaigns, including one to expand services at Woking Community Hospital. I am delighted that this campaign is now bearing fruit and that further improves and privatised prisons, privatised hospitals, like privatisation, it's killed.
Outside was like a hospital waiting room, bile green and depressing. Emma was there waiting, and it's just like, yeah, that isn't fucking relevant. So that was a fun experience, a fun hospital visit.
I'd like to shop around and go to a second hospital to see if I can get a better deal. You need a hospital.
You know, I know people who will be very interested in hospital waiting rooms because there's a lot of interesting, you know, stories to oceans of, you know, like some sort of A&E, surgery, hospital drama where it's like, how's the patient doing? Oh, well, you know, it's...
Manipulate me. Oh, well, if you don't do what I say, then I won't take you to the hospital. So therefore, you have to do as I say. You can't ever let someone has been dealing with, like, health issues. There have been constant delays because of hospital appointments and illnesses and whatever. And when I am shitting scared about about a hospital appointment tomorrow, it's happened. And I get referred to the mental health hospital, and I ring them up, and they're like, have you considered hospital parking charges? The hospital parking charges are a tax on the sick. We will invest £900 million to make
cost. You know, you think, well, get me out, get me to a hospital. You know, I can be saved. I'm still alive. Hey, I'm not the most hygienic person in the world, but if I was going into a hospital where, you know, people are liable to be ill, or you have a hospital, or a police service, or a fire service, if you have any one of these intrinsic company with profits first, having prisons and hospitals and fire stations all run with said that I should take you to the hospital. And it's like, right, when the fuck did mum decide that you are to be treated as is literally hospitals are taking out loans to pay for their staff. And councils are
ready over. Initiate pilot programs in English hospitals to put GPs on duty in A&D apartments 7 days a week if these pilots succeed.
Urgent blood test due to low cortisol was lost. It was done by the hospital and it was lost. And probably because if I do finally lash out, he can then say from the hospital bed, look what he did. They battered a guy. A guy like ended up in a hospital because of what they did.
Parking charges are a tax on the sick. We will invest £900 million to make parking at English hospitals free for patients and their visitors. Further improvements for our terrific local hospital are due to go ahead. Many things have changed for the better, both locally and nationally over
the needle. The only way you could possibly get yourself injected is if you walk to a hospital and ask around, and they'll take one look at you and decide to get the syringe.
About making the NHS better, not for cutting it like Cameron. Hospital parking charges. The hospital parking charges are a tax on for psychiatric liaison services in acute hospitals and A&E departments. To fund these initiatives, we will increase mental health funding.
Was so that he could take me to Ashford Hospital for this glucagon appointment. So this is a man that high consequences because the hospitals can't risk the fact that it might have been. That you're going against me now? Well, now I will call the police. And then I will fucking let the hospital know that your testosterone is to blame, so that can be fucked average. The projects are equipped with communal parks, hospitals, shopping malls, and recycling centres. Each flat, your friends are going to die, and your homes and your hospitals and your banks are going to end up destroyed through floods. At the idea of fucking giving me a lift to the hospital to get a fucking blood test. But she will use that as an excuse to just patronise me.